Today I would like to share with you a very simple yet extremely powerful exercise that exposes the entire notion of being a chooser of things, being a doer of things. It will expose the whole notion of free will. So firstly, right here and right now, I want you to choose what you are going to think next. Okay, so take some time and choose what you will think next. Choose your next thought. So you have chosen. Now, whatever you may have chosen, maybe it was the thought house or love or dinner or something from your past or future. I want you to reflect on how you actually went about choosing that thought. What was your process of choosing the thought that you chose? If you'll really look closely, you will notice that whatever thought you chose was simply the thought that came to your mind. What catalog did you look through to choose from? You did not go through any process of looking and choosing. You simply chose what appeared in the mind. May not have been the first thing that came to your mind, may not have been the second thing, may have been the third thing. But regardless, you chose something that just arose in the mind without any choosing on your part. Whatever is arising at the level of thoughts is not being chosen, it is simply arising. And the whole notion of choice is the foundation that it rests upon is that I think in order to choose. My choice is determined by thought. Thinking chooses what to do, and the body performs that action. But with this simple little exercise, you can clearly see that literally even your next thought, you do not know. You do not know what will arise in the mind. Something simply arises. The ego is only the assumption, I choose. The ego is only this belief, I think, I do. The ego isn't an actual thing that exists, which thinks and feels and does. Simply, experience is appearing. Thinking, feeling, choosing, doing are happening. The ego lies in the assumption, in the belief, I think, I choose, I do. So the whole notion of free will or no free will only applies to the ego. Free will is as real as the ego is. And the ego itself is just an assumption, I think, I do, I act. It is a false assumption. It mixes your beingness, your sense of identity, I, with what is appearing at the level of experience. It hides behind this assumption, a thought-made assumption. I think, I am doing, I am this, I am that. The ego is just an unconscious association of your beingness, I am, with the activity appearing. You do not think. You do not do. You are only the witness of all the thinkingness, the feeling, the doing, the experiencing. You are only the awareness of what is appearing. And that simple little exercise, if you do it again and again, it will start to make clear to you that the whole notion, I think, is ridiculous. Thoughts are happening, but the notion, I think, is an assumption. It's a belief, a false belief. For you do not even know what is going to arise in the mind in the very next moment. We simply claim ownership over it, doership over it. That ownership is what we call ego. Because out of it, a whole persona is conceived. And notice I said conceived, meaning it is a concept. It is a thought-made illusion. It is imagination. So one other thing that I ask you to notice throughout your day is that there are so many times during the day where you are not even thinking about what to do. The body is just doing. For example, observe yourself one day taking a shower. You will just notice that your movements are so automatic. You just have a routine in which you clean yourself and it just happens without thinking about it. You may be thinking about something totally different, about work or family, and you are doing the exact same movements. The body is just doing it. Observe yourself driving. It's just totally unconscious. You may be thinking about something totally different, yet you make your way from home to work or work to home or anywhere else in your neighborhood without even thinking about the minute little movements and all these things that you're doing. The body's just doing it. So there are so many things in your day-to-day life that you can observe the body's just acting without even thinking. And then the next step comes where you start to see that even the things that I feel like I am thinking in order to do, like some sort of big life decision that I am choosing, that I'm thinking and deciding and then doing. That whole thinking process that is deciding what to do is also just thoughts appearing to you, the witness, the awareness. And the doing that is taking place is also just an appearance. It is an experience. You are not the thinker. You are not the choosing. You are not the doing. You are not the mind that thinks and chooses. You are not the body that performs the action. All of this appears as a changeful experience in your seeing. You are only the witness. Now, upon hearing this, you may say, okay, then so what do I do? Do I not do anything? Once again, that thought itself is not to be identified with. That thought itself is just once again, the ego creating trouble, the mind creating trouble. The mind which claims, I own this, I do that, is triggered by hearing this message because its seeming reality is being totally destroyed, questioned, investigated, So no, you don't have to change anything about your life to start to realize this. And this will not take anything away from your experience. All you have to do is you have to start to observe the nature of things. You have to observe the very things that I talked about in this video. Observe how half the time the body's just acting on its own. There's a deeper intelligence which moves the actions of the body. And once again, let go of ownership. It is not your body. Keep I apart from all the activity that is appearing. Don't attach I am to any activity that is appearing. Simply watch the activity that is appearing. So the actions of the body are moved by a nature, a different intelligence, a deeper intelligence, which is your very own source. And the mind that is thinking and deciding what to do, what the body should do, is also being watched, is also being moved by a deeper intelligence, which is your very own source, which is the same intelligence which keeps the sun rising every morning, which is the same intelligence which turns a small seed into a huge tree, which then births more seeds and turns it into a forest. So from your personal standpoint, it will continue to appear that I am thinking, I am doing. And of course, you have to do, allow yourself to think what you are, the best thing you should be doing, and do it. But wake up from this hypnosis of I think I do. It is only apparently true that I think I do. So let that happen. Live the same way that you were living before, but start to observe. In observation, you awaken to these things. When you observe, you start to see that, hey, thinking and action will continue going on the same way. But now you are no longer identifying with the thinking or action that is unfolding, that is appearing. Instead, you are remaining as a witness to all experience. And personal life will be moved by a deeper intelligence, no longer constantly will you be under the assumption and the constant anxiety of being the doer. So this is a topic that I love speaking about, and this is the topic that usually there's a vast discussion on in the comments because, of course, it is also triggering. It is also something that the mind disagrees with because it likes to be under the notion that I have control. I can do. And of course, the mind has control. The mind can do. But you are not the mind. And the mind itself is moved by a deeper intelligence. So its control, its doership is also surface level. It is illusory. There's no harm in being the actor, or playing the role of the thinker and the chooser and the liver of this life. But you have to know it as the role that you're playing rather than the truth of what you are. This is a theme that will continue to arise in your spiritual journey, and a theme that you will have to, through observation, grow in the understanding of, because otherwise it will cloud your judgment. It will continue to reinforce the ego, personal identity, and it will actually even obscure and cloud your meditation practice. If you keep on clinging to personal identity, the notion of doership, ownership, you will hold yourself back. So in one way, you are the surface level person that is thinking and choosing. That is the surface level apparent self. So there's no harm in playing that role, but start to grow up from identification with it. You have to stop identifying with the thinking, feeling, doing. Instead, be only the witness to it. Because from there, you start to grow in a vaster understanding of yourself at subtler and subtler levels of beingness. thought, and action are only the absolute surface level of self-understanding. Actually, we can even call it ignorance. Only through self-awareness, observation, the desire to understand, you start to see yourself, experience yourself, understand yourself at subtler and subtler planes of existence. So I have another video on non-doership that I think you'll find helpful, in which I even use a visual to share with you to go deeper into this subject. I'll link that down below in the description of this video. I hope that video helped you greatly. If you want to make what you heard in today's video your direct experience, then you have to start practicing self-inquiry meditation. So I have a resource for you that you can download for free in the description box below. It is my self-inquiry guide. It will teach you how to practice self-inquiry step by step. And if you're looking for help with consistency and depth in your practice, and you want a more structured approach, check out our School of Awakening. School of Awakening is a community of people practicing self-inquiry and awakening to their true self. It is an amazing program that will help you break through. So firstly, we have our amazing community group here where you can ask questions anytime. Along with that, we have our course material, where, as you can see over here, day by day, I will lead you down into a deeper and deeper understanding, and again, more importantly, experience your true nature. Along with that, we do weekly meetings, Q&As, guided meditations, and from within the program, you can even book a private meeting with me to get additional help. It is an incredible resource. If you are serious about your self-inquiry practice, you want to commit to going deeper into these teachings, then I highly encourage you to take a look at the link in the description box below. It'll take you over to the School of Awakening page and you can enroll right away. So I certainly hope to see you inside of our School of Awakening. But that's all for today's video. I hope you gained a lot of value. I'll see you next time.